So, one, did you want me to start out as Olimar, or would you prefer, I guess, someone a bit more kind of typical, just to give a more clean basis, I guess, of gameplay and things like that, or if you're not too familiar with fighting Olimar and all that stuff?
It's hard for me, man, also, because, like, there's one Olimar in my area named Lamp who's pretty nasty. He's, like, number 6, but
Okay.
I've never gone against him.
Okay, so here's
But
what. Uh,
it's like a mix.
okay, if you want, I can start out with someone more traditional, Lucina, Wolf, someone else or whatever, and then towards the end of the session, I can go some Olimar as well and give you some practice with that also.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Thank you, thank
All
you.
right, cool.
Choose your fighter. Mithra.
So going into this, I'm gonna be looking out for things, especially after the first couple games that we can kind of build off of. But off the top of your head, what is like the one thing that you feel like you're kind of weaker on, or that you really feel like is lacking in your gameplay?
Right now, I feel like I do really bad in my disadvantage state. I try to play very aggressive.
I'm not gonna
and...
deny you. I was gonna figure it out. That's all. Okay. So your disadvantage?
Yeah, I feel like definitely my disadvantage is pretty bad. I don't know why exactly. I feel like I overextend too much and I take the aggressive option almost every time.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So we'll get into this. We'll play a game or two, and then I'll give some feedback, and I'll keep an eye on disadvantage and see how you handle it.
Cool, cool, cool.
Three, two, one, go!
Oh, that was
Oh,
unfortunate.
that's unlucky.
Yeah, that was just soon after you got hit. So there was a couple things I noticed there. One, I felt like your advantage, or when you were kind of like pressuring me, even sometimes on shield, it was very much like you would leave yourself in like a almost like a flow chart. Like you'd always do like a Mithra tilt into another tilt, right? Instead of mixing it up, because they're not like technically safe. They're not, they're kind of more like a pseudo safe, where it's like, okay, if they don't do this right, they can get away. And sometimes I just hold shield and wait until I was able to like react, or I knew you were gonna do, and then I'd grab you. So I think mixing that stuff up is gonna be a bit better. Maybe going for the grab, right? Or maybe trying to do like an aerial after if you think they're gonna, jump away, or even just to mix up their timings, or hell, even delaying like a follow-up tilt. But you do have to be careful with that. Same with the air as well. Like there was one point there where you were Pyra, and I was like a highish percent with Wolf, and you were also at kill percent, I think. and I land and I just fast fall neutral air dodge, and you were so committed to that up air, you weren't trying to like catch where I was going. It was more so, oh, he's right above me, I'm gonna hit him right there. And
Yeah.
that can work in some cases, especially with slower characters who might just have to like float down or whatever. But with faster ones where I'm just like trying to get to the ground ASAP, you know, it might be better off to use that up air as like a bait, like short hop it, auto cancel it so you have no lag, and then punish my landing. Especially on Wi-Fi, where you need to be a little bit more prediction based, because you can't raw react everything since the delay.
Yeah.
In regards to your disadvantage, it wasn't terrible or anything like that. I'm sure as we play more games, it'll be a little bit more pronounced in certain areas. But just the big thing in that instance is usually like a little bit of patience goes a long way. If you grab the ledge or if you do something like that, just taking a second and go, okay, now I need to pick an option is really important. And that helps throw off your opponent's timing.
Got you. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, like when I'm in disadvantage, I waited a moment before I came in and I threw off your timing with it. Like even not necessarily at the ledge, but just like delaying what I'm doing to get you to swing first.
I got you. Yeah, okay, I can move and stuff.
Nice. That was solid.
Okay.
So, when you're talking disadvantage, is it more horizontal or like vertical when you're getting juggled that you tend to feel like it's worse? Because they're usually pretty separate.
Yeah, honestly, it's a bit of both. I feel like I struggle a lot more with the landing though, like when I'm coming down on the air.
Okay. So, things you want to be doing with that, I mean, there are times where you're just going to have to accept you're going to get hit, especially the characters who are really good at vertical juggling, like Swordies or Pal or something like that. Neutral air dodge is a really powerful option, especially if you can fast fall it. You can swing if you have the right character, especially with someone like Pyra has a bit bigger hitboxes. Other than that, you can like try and DI those hits away, maybe go to the ledge gradually, so that you're just not always trying to fall on somebody. Stage of the platform can help you mix it up as well. It's kind of just like looking at where your opponent's at in relation to you and going, okay, when do I need to actually press a button versus when am I getting scared into pressing it? And that type of like, you don't want to like fall into like an autopilot.
Okay. So when it comes to like falling with the air dodge, I think I mix it up where I fast fall and I directional air dodge. Should I just be fast falling
Yeah.
and neutral air dodging?
It depends on what you're doing. There's definitely times where directional air dodge is fine. But the nice thing about the neutral air dodge is that it has so much less lag. Like when I'm neutral air dodging in the ground there, I have like no lag. Where if I do like directional air dodge, like it's really rough because you're just stuck in the air so long. Like I can't do anything until now. So it's something you play by ear. But if you're trying to fall directly like under somebody, you want a neutral air dodge because then you can go straight by them, and then you're gonna hit the ground faster since you're falling and they're rising, and you're not adding any additional movement to you. You're just falling directly.
Okay, gotcha.
So one of the big things too in disadvantage is you don't want to just hyper focus on like immediately being options. Sometimes just DIing away and letting your character's natural drift tend to take over is better than immediately burning a jump or air dodging instantly and stuff, especially when it's like ledge oriented, which is one of the bigger problems with Pyramithra. Like if you get caught slipping at the ledge, burning your jump or burning something at the wrong time, you can just die because you do have a very linear recovery in the way it goes.
Yeah.
There was an instance where like I hit you off stage, you immediately jumped and I just intercepted it. But other than that, I think your gameplay's been pretty solid. There's times on stage where maybe you'll get a little mixed up by me delaying what I'm doing, and then I'll kind of like tomahawk grab because you're getting scared in the shield. Minter's one of those characters that's really good at intercepting people, I think, because she has a distress. She has pretty fast frame beta and good movement speed, so don't be a little bit more afraid to swing there. I also find that you don't want to like it's definitely better to use Pirate in advantage state, right? Because that's what she does best. She kind of like gets big kills, she does that, but you don't always have to like hard play them in one or another. If you find like Pyro is working better in certain scenarios, even in neutral, you can definitely like experiment both with that.
Okay, yeah,
I know.
definitely kind of just hard set for like swap on a net kill percent.
I know, like people like Spargo, for instance, are really good at using both in more kind of neutral terms, where someone like Cosmos is very much like, okay, I'm
save me?
Where he's more kind of like linear with what he does, but that has its own downsides, right? So like being a little bit more flexible, like you don't always have to do. You can do whatever you feels right, or if you know that you can get in their head and get a pyro kill, like there's nothing wrong with going for it.
Yeah, Cosmos is pretty much just strict like Myth Heavy.
Yeah. I should not have done that. Like there, you could maybe just go to the ledge if you're unsure, right? Like, yeah, it's gonna change it up, but you're trying to land right on top of me, and you don't really have a good answer.
Yeah.
Kind of guessing.
Yeah.
That move is safe, or that move is not safe in the sense that it's minus 11. However, its shield pushback is really awkward. So shield grabbing is not like it's not like the best way to punish it. So I want to talk to you when you feel like you're getting hit. Like that instance where you landed on me, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you were really evaluating? Okay, I'm near Wolf. I need to watch out. I'm at a high percent. I'm gonna die. Like maybe I should be careful about how I'm landing on him. He has good like options to poke under platforms and stuff, or do you think you were more like hyper focused on just recover and don't die, and your thought was just get back to stage?
Honestly, like when I was recovering on you as Pyro, my thought was like you're at 60. If I hit you with a down right here, you're dead.
Okay. So you were taking the more aggressive approach.
I was thinking, yeah, exactly. That's why I wasn't really thinking at your options. I was just thinking about my options and how I can kill you.
Okay, so that's one way to do it. What I want to try to do in these next couple games is whenever we get into a scenario where maybe you hit me, but it doesn't go as planned either with your own advantage state, so maybe I DI'd a certain way or you mess up or whatever, or when I hit you and you're in a bad spot, I want you to try and acknowledge what went wrong in that interaction, right? Maybe you made a miscalculation, maybe I did something you didn't expect, maybe you made a tech error, whatever it is. I want you to try and identify it throughout the game, especially on times where you lose stocks, right? So when you did land on me there and I up tilted you, you could go, okay, I landed on him, I shouldn't have done that. Even though he's at a kill percent, it's more important that I get this reset here, because if I reset to neutral, I can outplay him again. But I want you to try and identify those things and kind of maybe break up where there might be a little bit of autopilot in there, or kind of tunnel vision on certain things, like you trying to attack me there. And let's try and break that up so you're getting more intentional thought into each interaction.
Got you. All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay, so did you find yourself doing it all that game, or was it hard to do and you didn't think about doing it? Let me know.
I definitely caught like a lot of times. I think like when I was noticing a lot is you were catching my jump for sure. Like
Okay.
I was mashing jump out of like hit stun a lot, and you'd kind of just laser me, and that's how I lost my first 2 stocks pretty
Yeah,
easily.
yeah. Like at Inner Chapter, I'd throw it out there. I'd be like, okay, if you want to burn your resources, I'm ready to catch you.
Exactly.
There was definitely some times on stage 2 where, you know, I'd hit your shield and you'd think, oh, I'm fine, I can do this here. And then it'd be just out of range, right? You did like the up smash, for example, where I caught you one time, or right there at the end where you know, you tried to, I think, shield grabber, hit something the forward smash. And it's just little things like that mixing you up, and it's okay to make those mistakes right now, especially when we're in this lesson, right? And you're kind of testing out things, having someone give feedback. And the goal is to like be able to take that, so you're being a bit more thoughtful when you're practicing in the future. Also, by the way, I don't know if you have it. I have random set switch if you do, or random stage switch set if you do want to have some like variety in there. If you like PS2, that's fine.
Oh,
Just let me know as well.
I got you. My random is just kind of all random. So would it be your random?
Okay. Yeah, you can just. You know what? If you just want to do it, we'll just alternate between stages, because I know the random's a little weird. Yeah, it should be my random, actually. It should be my random.
Okay, six.
But yeah, so like just being able to think about that in the next game too. I'll try and give a little bit more feedback. I wanted to kind of keep it just you on this one and help break it out. So be like, if I catch you with something, be like, oh, you were jumping and you didn't need to again, or oh, you were doing this, and we'll help call it out. Because when you're able to acknowledge those mistakes more deliberately, it makes it a lot easier to commit it to memory, and then it helps train your kind of mind to not just autopilot the muscle memory when you get hit or when something happens.
Definitely, yeah. Hearing like when I'm doing it, like when it's wrong, probably like, I'll be able to visually see it too.
Yeah.
Three, two, one, go!
Right there, tried to shield grab space forward air. You know, you want to take into account the range of it.
Yeah, I keep getting knocked back by it. And the smashes.
Yep. Hipper space aerials are already really hard to grab to begin with, and wolf forward air isn't very unsafe either. So it's like it's just gonna be a tough one to get. Watch where your distance is from the ledge. It was just a little bit under the roll. I was waiting. I knew you wanted it.
Yeah, the second I threw it out, it's going, no.
Good patience on that. See, I'm waiting for you to come down.
Yeah, yeah.
You're doing so good there, and a couple missteps really cost you.
Yeah.
There was times where, you know, I'm just waiting. I'm gonna let you swing first because you are still getting in those moments where you're getting a little like jittery, especially when you're at a high kill percent or something, and you get a bit nervous, right? You're getting killed in the air where it lets me get a punish, or even there was one time where like I think it was an F tilt or a forward air with Pyro, right? Where a high percent a little bit before the game ended. And I go to, you hit me and I shield it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to try and punish. I don't know what's going to happen. And then, or I'm not going to punish it with an immediate out of shield option. And then you go and shield and I grab you. And it's like, well, what if maybe you mix it up there and you jab, right? Because you think I'm going to try and grab it because I've been shield grabbing it. And that's thinking back to what we've been doing the other set where I'm punishing the habit that you have where you're shielding after a lot of whiffed attacks, right? You might not spot dodge that much, but it's like you'll shield a lot as like a comfort option. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Like Wolf's not the best kill throw character, so you can definitely do that. But knowing when to mix it up, or if you do get grabbed there, okay, he's called on to it. Let's try and mix it up next time if I get in that spot, and let's focus on recovering there. And I ended up mixing you up there using my neutral air to linger, catch you off stage, play patient at the ledge. You know, you could try and do that. You could have even maybe gone Mithra when you were off stage, give you a little bit more mobility, and then get back to the ledge. And then instead of playing with Pyra, you maybe now have that neutral air to try and shield poke. You have your up B to try and, you know, scoop the ledge because it's so big, stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I think your advantage isn't bad and stuff. It can be a little, I think, hyper-focused on what you want and opening yourself up a little bit more to what your opponent's doing is big and thinking about what they've done in the past interactions. But overall, it's like you have a clear idea of what you want in mind, and that's important.
Yeah, I definitely gotta focus. It's hard for honestly me to focus on like my opponent rather than focusing myself.
Yeah, it's a skill you have to learn over time. Because it's not like you're going to do it all the time, but it's more like, okay, when do I need to give them my attention?
Yeah, exactly. That's when I don't know fully when I should be.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, bad air dodge.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can just play it safe. You don't always have to immediately go into a swing. If I'm in a spot where you're not super comfortable punishing, you can just wait, maybe shield. I can't grab you from all the way up there, right? So like giving you the patience, seeing if I pull the trigger first is really nice. I waited, I ran in, gave you just a little bit of that bait, you know, and I was like, we're gonna walk away.
Faced that shit perfectly.
I think you're gonna get a little antsy on that one, go for something I think I can punish. I turn around too, just in case you like spot dodge out of here, so the back hit's gonna catch you instead of the front hit, so there's a little bit of a delay, make it a bit more awkward. But going back to what you were saying in that game where you're not sure when the best time to focus on your opponent is. So the big things I like to do are when I'm off stage, like, yes, give yourself the time of day and pay attention to yourself, but you also need to go, okay, where's my opponent at in relation to me? Are they coming at me? Because a lot of the times, players will get knocked off stage and they'll be like, I have to air dodge, I have to do this. And it's like they're so focused on themselves, they don't see someone just coming out there with a hit, or maybe going out there with a projectile or something. And then focus on that a little bit. Like, you can even, like, look almost in the middle of you guys and let your peripheral kind of catch everything. It's like you're looking, like, out the windshield of a car where you just kind of catch all of that information and focus in specifically at little points where you need to. Another important point, it's the same thing when you're above somebody. You're going to want to look at where they are in relation to you. You already know where you are. You just looked, you got hit. So you know what option you're going to pick. So now you can pay some mind to them and go, okay, I put in my air dodge. I put in my whatever. Let's look at them, see when they're coming to swing so I know when to press. Another time is when you're pressing your advantage state on people. Because, like, for instance, right there, when I was walking towards you, I was giving you focus, and I was giving you some attention because I was like, I need to see how you're going to respond to me. I think you're going to do this, and I have a guess. Like, I thought you were going to drop shield or do whatever, and you did. But I was like, I'm going to focus exactly what you're doing, so I know that I'm going to run in, I'm going to pick my option, I'm going to space it perfectly, and I'm seeing where you are in relation to me. And that's also important when you're going for reads or for when you're waiting. It's not just all immediate combos, because when you hit somebody with a combo, whether it be a down throw thing or whatever it is, you already have that muscle memory. You don't need to give it as much attention, and if you do, you guys are right on top of each other. But it's like, I hit him, now I'm going to pay attention to where they are, and I'll move my character in relation to where I think they're going to go, or maybe I can scare them. So it's those moments where you're already in control, you already have your character stuff easy to do, that you can give your opponent a little bit more focus. Or in neutral, where there's some distance and you really need to focus on not dying or not getting hit, you go, okay, my opponent's here, let me really see them coming in and pay them that mind. Because if you just focus on yourself, you get blindsided a lot.
Definitely, yeah. And I get like hit by things I'm honestly like just not really looking out for.
Yeah.
I'm focused on myself too much.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go!
Or watch that spacing and go back just a little bit.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's nice to be able to punish people if they do a regular get up with the perfect spacing, but sometimes, you know, you can go up and grab them and throw them off stage again, but you don't want to be getting caught by those rolls if you're not ready for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Put yourself in shield with Miss or with Tyra a lot. Like, you'll do something and almost always just hold shield for a prolonged period of time, and it makes getting those grabs really easy.
Okay.
like the air grab would have been perfect, right? Because it's gonna put me in a spot where you're jumping back, you're kind of following me. You already committed to not swinging in the air, so it's not like you open up the risk, I guess, of technically getting caught by me, but you're ready to hit the ground. And online and just Smash in general, like Smash Ultimate in general, has that natural buffer, so it's a little hard to be like perfect timing. But the grab's gonna cover it, so if I shield or if I stand there, you're going for a fast attack. I think your grab's frame 6. You're probably gonna catch me. It's faster than F tilt, and then if you hit me, yeah, you might not directly kill, but then you put me back off stage. And that's the thing, as appealing as it is to always want to kill, sometimes you just have to get a couple rinse and repeat hits, keep beating them in advantage till you find a good opening, till they fuck up, till you know you're like, I put you at the ledge 3 out of 4 times or whatever, 3 or 4 times. I know what your next option is. I know the mix-up you're going for. Now I can hit you with a big punish. And it feels like with you, every time it's like, oh, he's at the ledge, and now I'm going for my big punish. And you'll throw some variety in there, but you always want to do those big punishes. And that feeds back into what I was talking about earlier, where I was like, you know, take a second, think about those interactions. When you mess up there, when you F-tilted there, you should think to yourself, okay, my F-tilt was too slow. It didn't work. I need to try something different. Maybe even jab if you really want to get a hit, right? Jab might kill. It's got that strong power. I was at a high percent. It's faster, things like that. But you need to evaluate, what did I do or what happened here that messed up and why I didn't win that interaction.
Okay, got you. I think it definitely gets to that high percent, I get greedy.
Yeah, and that's hard. You have to really slow it down sometimes and just accept that you can't force the game to do it. If you're already comfortable without playing, you have to have the confidence, I should say, to be comfortable without playing your opponent. So you can go, you know what? Yeah, we are in a scuffle and it's a little bit intense right now, but I know that I can chip you down until I get you with a kill throw eventually, or a jab, or whatever it is. And if you kind of, you know, shoot your shot too quickly, you just throw it all when your opponent's potentially playing in a really I'm trying to avoid these obvious kill move ways.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm gonna go Olimar for the last 20 minutes or so, and we'll get you some practice with that.
Cool.
Three, two, one, go!
So Olimar's gonna be a bit different than a lot of the other characters you're gonna fight. He obviously is gonna be throwing a ton of things at you, and they're not like normal projectiles, but they do interact in a way that makes you change how you play. Like they slow you down when every time they tick, they cause a little bit of hit lag, they lag your attacks, they do a lot of damage, and you do want to get them off. Big things with Olimar, just like if he's holding shield a lot, like he is a character where you need to rinse and repeat what you're doing, right? Like there's a lot of times where I'd regularly get it from the ledge. I think I got up 3 times, and you just let it fly. And it's like just run up there, you know, be ready to dash grab. If you catch me shielding, I'm getting into a habit of shielding, run and dash grab, especially with a character like Mithra. You have that speed. You can get in there and punish, you know. Then you can mix up the tilts. Then you can mix up the dash attacks to try and zone break. But you need to, like, focus on, okay, what is this character's weakness? Oh, Olimar specifically, his weakness is disadvantage. So let's put him in the air. Let's put him somewhere he can't handle it too well. And even going back to Wolf, like, I'm not sure if you were doing that all the time either. It's like, think about what your opponent's general weaknesses are, or at least what you know about them. You don't need to know every bit of nuance about a character, but you can go, okay, Olimar is slow, he struggles to land a lot of the time, so let me keep him there, let me abuse my advantage state as much as possible, and if I gotta throw him there over and over again, let's do that.
Got you.
Because
Okay, definitely, yeah.
The longer I'm on the ground, the more I get to do what I want.
Okay.
Blue there, you want to watch out for those. You don't want to just go into shield.
Okay. I don't even know what all Santa the Pikmin do.
Yeah, blue with the kill throw.
Okay. Shit.
Big greedy on that one. Big greedy on that one. You played that game really well, though. I saw a lot of those mix-ups at the ledge. Like, you'd go grab me if I regularly got up. You tilted after doing another tilt, so you didn't just always, like, panic into shield. And it felt like there was a lot more deliberate intention to mix up your own game. And, you know, it just got you a lot farther. You were able to catch me off guard when I was with stuff. And as the game went on, I started to adapt to it a bit more. I was like, okay, you're dash attacking here, you're doing this. But did you find yourself thinking a lot more about doing those things, or how are you feeling that game?
I was honestly not looking at my game. I was looking at like what I could catch you with a lot more. Like, a lot. I mean, it's because I honestly don't know the Olimar matchup so much. But
Yeah.
the second I was able to figure out like what moves I could catch you, and honestly, like I was weird to put it, but like when I was getting hit, yeah, I was just figuring, okay, what hit me, and then I was figuring out the pigment that hit me, and then like just basically just get away from certain ones and then stay out of
Yeah.
like, your area. I have a lot more range, I think, with Mithra and Pyra.
Yeah, no, there's definitely times, especially in the air, right? Like your sword's bigger than my pigman, so you can
Yeah.
outrange me there, and that's good, right? You're thinking about those interactions. You're going, okay, how can I catch him with this? How can I mix it up? And you can kind of flesh that out as you continue to practice with me or someone else. But it's like that's the continued effort that you need to be doing, because like right now, that game was so different than the beginning of the game where you were just kind of going through your own motions, doing your flowchart. Now it felt a lot more open-ended, and you still had things you want to go for, but you wouldn't be, you weren't afraid to like mix it up.
Yeah, definitely.
Greedy.
Yeah. I don't know that neutral B works on Olimar. I mean, honestly, I get a lot of kills doing that.
Yeah, Olimar's up B is just so good at maneuvering, so it's like I'm essentially flying out there. So something like that where you're kind of like locked into a type of like static movement, like you're going just down or a little bit of drift or something, and it's easy to dodge it. So that game was punishing a lot of what you're doing. There were times where you tried to like you'd get hit and you'd immediately like mash Nair with Mithra in the air, and then I come through with another up air and catch you. And that's another moment where you can be like, okay, I don't need to hit Nair here. I get people want to use aerials to maybe get them out of the tumble state when they're in the air and stuff, and that's totally fine. But it's once again, where is my opponent in relation to me? Is going for this hit better than just neutral air dodging, or better than even directional air dodging, right? Like you have foresight with Mithra, so like if you dodge it, you're gonna fly. I'm stuck there. There's no way I'm gonna get to you in time. So you can abuse that, and it's gonna be better than just trying to like swing your aerial and get out of there. That game is rough. I do think Pyra specifically does better against Olimar in a lot of cases because Mithra's like Sheik in the sense that you have a lot of quick hits, but they're not super strong, and that makes it hard to kill Pikmin. That makes it so when we get into interactions, it's a bit more skewed to my favor. And you saw I got my purples. Once I get my purples, it's like a whole nother character. But no, just keep those things in mind. Like, it's going to be hard. I'm naturally going to be adapting faster than you, just given the kind of dynamic we have as players. But think about those mistakes still. Like, even though you didn't get, like, really any good stocks there or anything like that, it was still, okay, why was I swinging in disadvantage when I didn't need to? Why was I going off stage trying to do it all? Like, I need to go for more broad options. Why not instead of run off, you know, neutral B, you tried two-frame the ledge with down air?
Yeah.
See how much different it is with Pyro? Like, you just have a lot more boom
Yeah.
to your attacks.
I have a lot, definitely. So it's
Yeah.
a lot to deal with. And honestly, Pikmin aren't too much of a problem. They kind of just killed off by the Nair. Ooh, I didn't expect that though.
Yeah, so that second stock was like classic double purple shenanigans. I get you 0 to 100 in like actual seconds. Off single
Okay.
like tech chase interaction reads if I do it right.
Yeah, I had no idea what was happening. I was like at 20% in my head. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know if I just missed it. I went from 20 to 110 real quick.
Yeah, I put you up on the platform and I read the roll and I double charged double purple down smash, so you took like 50% from that one down smash.
Crazy.
And then it sits you off. And it just creates a shit ton of pressure. So it's like getting rid of those purples is super key. And when you swap to Pyra, you eventually did get rid of them, and then it changed it up and you ended up taking a stock, so it's better than the last game. So it was still, yeah, it's a bit lopsided, but you're trying different things, you're experimenting, and you're recognizing, okay, this is my win condition, this is what I need to do. And that clear acknowledgement is much better than like a passive like shrugging or like quick like glancing acknowledgement. Like they're like, okay, yeah, all right, Pyro worked there, it killed, but you're not really thinking about why the things worked. That's gonna slow down your growth as a player. So we get time for like one more game, and I just want you to like try and think about all the stuff we did, being patient at disadvantage, mixing up your options, being mindful of your spacing, not attacking at a disadvantage, and try and put it into a game here. And it might not seem like you're doing anything, but if you're thinking about those things, even if it's not perfect, you're getting better at using those strategies.
Gotcha.
Go!
Oh, I'm not gonna kill you off that.
God. That was absolutely fucking disgusting. I didn't know that shield broke like that.
Yeah, so the double purple, just like how I did like 50%, well, that's a 50% hit hitting your shield. So,
Jesus Christ.
so you're going to...
I should have put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, so it's really good at, like, uncharged double purple fresh does like 90% shield damage, give or take. So when it's charged a little bit, your shield just pops from full. And it's a bit hard to space. You're not going to run into a lot of Olimars that are going to be doing that. But...
That's absolutely terrifying, though.
But that game...
ungodly scary.
You know, like I said, as we go through, like, I'm adapting to a lot more of what you're doing, and I'm just going to pick up on things faster. And that doesn't mean that you're not applying those concepts. It's kind of like... take like people learn to ride a bike, right? Like they learn to ride it with training wheels, and it's like it's easy, they're doing it, and then you take the training wheels off and they can still ride the bike kind of, but it's slower until they get into the groove of things. And that's what it is. Like you're having to slow down your thought process to go, oh, there is all this information I can pick out, there is all this stuff that I want to keep working on and improving and taking note of, so I can make my advanced state better, because you already know what you want to go through for with your character. It's just finding new ways to land it, or understanding why your opponent's choosing those options. Did you make them choose it? Are they scared because they're percent? Are they shielding because they're near the ledge? All those little bits. And the more you get better at doing that, you're trying to make an effort to identify those things, then you get faster and faster at implementing them, at recognizing them, and then at some point, you know, that's what sets a lot of these top players apart. Like, their advantage states are crazy, their disadvantages are crazy, because they're so good at identifying what's my opponent doing, what do they want, where am I in relation to them, and they just kind of put all of that together, and then they're able to pick options that are harder to punish.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a weird like my not like mindset, but just a skill get that I go against. Like, I easily honestly get like top 60 at my locals, but
Yeah.
I go against Razzo, who's just the ungodly
Oh,
beast.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And every time it feels like he knows what I'm doing before I do it.
Yeah, no, that's how it is. Like, when they're pressuring or when they're doing something, like when I broke your shield with that Olimar right there, right, like with that down smash, I knew that you were gonna shield. I knew that you were
Yeah.
scared. You see the purples, you might think, oh no, he's gonna hit me really hard, and I pressure that. I do that to literally the best players on the planet with purples. I think, like, I already know what your available options are and what you instinctually go to, so I'm trying to exploit that. And that's what you have to, like, almost like reverse engineer it, right? Where you're able to, like, go, okay, yes, I'm air dodging here because I'm scared. I'm panic and airing because I'm just doing it out of habit and I want to get an attack out, but there's not really a need. And thinking about those interactions, breaking down every time you make that mistake, that helps flesh it out so much more.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, really good session. I think you're very competent. You try to clean up some areas. Disadvantage especially is going to get better the more you're able to think about it, not burning your jumps immediately. And higher Mytho do have a bit of a rough one at times, so that's just part of it. Maybe going to stages that provide a little bit more help with platforms, town and city, tri-plats, whatever it is, right? Think about what character you're fighting and how you can assist yourself. But no, just keep working on the stuff we were talking about, and you'll definitely see the improvement, I think. I'll send you this the review or the lesson when it's uploaded, so you can go back and watch it if there's anything you want to catch. But do you have any last minute questions or anything?
Honestly, dude, we covered so much. My biggest thing was really my disadvantage state. Is there, I guess, like anything that practice tool wise you would recommend? Because honestly, all I do to practice is like coaching sessions and my weeklies.
I
That's
mean,
all. Cause I mean, none of my homies really grind the game.
if you can find some Wi-Fi practice, maybe with even local players, like hit up your local Discord or whatever group you guys like communicate in en masse or something. Maybe
sure.
hit up some players, be like, yo, if nobody's trying to get like an in-person Smash Fest or something, do you guys want to grind online? Or maybe try and find like local grind Discords. You just need to play the game a lot. Like, that repetition is gonna help keep your muscle memory going well. And as long as you're grinding the game a lot and then being mindful about it and acknowledging those mistakes and stuff, it's going to help commit to that. But yeah, going to your weeklies is big. Obviously, if you get any coaching, that's huge. But just even at your weeklies, you know, try and get some good friendlies in before bracket. If you're out of bracket after and you can play friendlies, definitely try and do that. Especially with the better players there. If you fight Raza or someone and you lose to them, be like, yo, when you ask, you can ask for some advice. Be like, how do you felt? How should I deal with this? Or, what do you think I did here? But try and make it specific. Like, at the ledge, do you think what do you think I could have done better in regards to picking defensive option, right? Keep it specific so they can give you a specific answer.
Okay, yeah. I normally just ask one of my bad habits, but
Yeah.
that's very broad.
Yeah, you don't want to go super broad and vague, because then it's like, I could write you an essay on why you're not doing it right. But it's like, if you're like, oh, what do you recommend I DI on down throw to get out of this combo? Or, oh, can I get out of that setup if I do this right? They can usually give you something specific, and you can go, okay, I can't do that. Let's try and take it a step back and see how I got there to begin with. And then it helps you understand the situation better.
I got you. Definitely. Okay.
All right, man. Have a good day, and I'll let you know when the lesson's uploaded.
You too, man. Appreciate it. Take it easy.
No problem. You too. Bye.
Bye.